A bipartisan group of senators introducing new legislation that would add $1 billion to fight the spiraling opioid epidemic, a follow-up to the 2016 Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act, known as CARA. This new bill will impose a mixture of policy changes, including restricted access to opioid painkillers and greater access to addiction treatments. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy, a member of the Senate Finance Committee and one of the senators supporting the bill, excuse me, sir, joins us now. Senator, thank you very much. This is an extraordinary topic. It's gripping our entire nation. It's the worst drug crisis ever. So give us a little bit more details on this latest push, if you will.
A couple things. We're trying to have more appropriate prescribing of opioids, trying to equip states to be able to identify which physicians might be prescribing, overprescribing, either for gain, like they're a pill mill, just giving drugs to people they shouldn't, or it's just their practice pattern and it needs to be corrected, as well as the manufacturers and the distributors to have more information as to suspicious activity. We also put dollars out there, increased dollars for treatment, and try and raise the standards for treatment.
I also understand that you're trying to make sure first responders have the adequate equipment to treat potential overdoses. I'll share this story with you. 6 years ago, a young man in my neighborhood wandered into our backyard and he died a couple hours later from a heroin overdose. He was 19 years old. His mother described him as a gentle giant. The next day he was going to go to college. And, we watched that from our house, not knowing what to do. But it seemed like the police department didn't have the necessary equipment in this case, to help them, and it was a desperate scene. Is this one of the things that can help?
Yes, pushing out the naloxone or a similar drug which would reverse the effects of an opioid to allow someone to be revived, but also to create more opportunities for those who are going into recovery to receive medical treatment so that they do not relapse. Both allowing nurse practitioners and physicians' assistants to prescribe the drug, as well as increasing the number of patients an individual physician can treat. So it's all along the aspects of it. How do we stop the distribution? How do we help the person who's immediately in trouble, but also how do we aid their recovery?
Now, according to the CDC, the problem increased by 28% from 2015 to 2016. Of course, data for last year not available, but more than likely it went up again. An additional $1 billion, it sounds like a lot of money, but obviously it's just a drop in a bucket. Can all the resources be marshaled that it will take to curb this and perhaps make it a thing of the past eventually?
Leadership is important. Communities banding together is important. You're right, Washington can push money out, but if it's not executed, then people will die. We have got to make sure not only that we put dollars out there, but that we also execute. There is in this legislation that which would evaluate treatment programs to identify best practices and to make sure that those with best practices are being supported and those that are just worthless programs go away. But ultimately, it's about leadership. Totally agree with you on that.
And before I let you go, beyond the money, society, is there something that you think, knowing this situation better than most, that can be done from a societal point of view?
Yeah, I mean, there's an article, Death from Despair, and we have a whole group of folks, 25, 35 to 55, who just feel like their life has just ended. And so they turn to drugs. Legal drugs, but then illegal drugs later on. We need to create a society where there is hope, where there is actually a vision of how someone's life can improve. That's number one. Number two, on the physician side, I can tell you, physicians who prescribe drugs, overprescribe, will addict somebody who otherwise would not be addicted. It's just statistical. Certain number of people are susceptible. If you overprescribe, that susceptibility will be triggered and they will become addicts. So physicians have got to do a better job. I'm a doc. I care about that deeply.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate all the work you're doing on it and coming on tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.